What if the first most important lesson that you were taught, and you were taught this throughout your lifetime, never just like a lesson plan that you passed by? Stay close, Bubba! That mistakes are the outcome of choice, and that the sister lesson was only the first step matters. Only step one matters. And what if you got taught that your whole life? I'm sort of stream of conscious ranting about this right now because I'm trying to, it's like the lesson that I always have been working on over the past several years, that in order to overcome all the obstacles to creating something new, which involves a lot of perfectionism sometimes in creative types, or in other analytical types, it might be like paralysis by analysis. You get stuck because you're thinking of all of the steps, you're thinking of all of the gigantic mess of something that's involved with starting a new project or any like new thing, whether it's like a lifestyle program you're trying to take part of, or like a business, an artistic affair. All of that stuff sort of blends together. And the lesson I keep learning in different ways is that it's really step one that matters the most. Whatever your endeavor is, you've got to break it into chunks and then break it into steps, and there's always a step one. And step one still might have multiple parts, but you look at step one and you literally just ignore everything else. This lets you actually take action, which is the thing that will relieve the anxiety, the feelings of procrastination, and will let you come back to the first thing I was saying. It will let you encounter the first obstacles. If you try to take the first step, you're going to do things successfully until you hit something that you don't know how to do, or you feel like you don't have the resources or support to do. Whatever the obstacle is, you'll find it, but you'll find the most important obstacle, the one you need to solve first. So again, that unties that knot of procrastination or paralysis by analysis or feeling overwhelmed, anxious. So yeah, you'll encounter problems, or you'll make a mistake, you'll do something wrong. And that could be a lot of different things. You can do a lot of things wrong, make a lot of wrong decisions, and that can feed back into those original like subconscious issues making you procrastinate. We get hung up on mistakes. You'll hear people say these commonly repeated thoughts, these self-defeating, self-manifesting thoughts. You'll hear people say like, everything bad always happens to me, or I always fuck up like this, I always do this, I always get myself into these situations. Any number of ways of rephrasing that sort of thought that's like problems are bound to come to you and then defeat you, that's why you can never get ahead. That's a really insidious and common thought, and we've probably all had some form of it. If you really start to look at the mistakes that you make in a productive way, a proactive way, rather than a reactive way, you'll realize that they are like the thing. They are the most necessary thing to teach you or push you or pull you in the correct direction that you need to go. You need mistakes. And I think the easiest way to illustrate this idea is to think about sports. There's a lot of people that consider themselves not very athletic, and they probably aren't. They're not very coordinated. All of us, even if we like to play certain sports, probably realize that we have areas in our body and our physicality where we are awkward, you know? We don't all move like friggin' gymnasts, or whatever, dancers, martial artists, whatever. So yeah, with sports, if you think about, we think we are like permanently awkward or something. Every child has to learn to walk, for example, and they do that by toddling around and falling over and wavering in place, and they're feeling the limits of their body. And so every time they tumble or stumble, they're learning. They're wiring their body to adapt and do the thing that they're trying to do. And they don't care how many times they fuck up. When they're babbling like nonsense, they don't care. They're like using their mouth and making noises and wiring the instructions on how to coordinate mouth sounds so they can talk eventually. They never care. And an overprotective parent that tries to like stop the kid from tumbling around is doing a great detriment to their kid, and that extends over into other behaviors as well. So if we understand this mistakes as necessary thing and we think about it in ourselves with a physical activity, say you want to throw something better, you're not a very coordinated thrower, or you just like to throw something better, frisbee. The way you get better at that, the first step is to actually move your damn arm and hurl something, whatever it is you're trying to get better at, and repeat it poorly. And in reality, a lot of people then get frustrated because they're doing it bad. They're like, oh, I'm not good at this. Another one of those insidious thoughts, I'm not good at this. Like, no kidding. You're not good at anything, you idiot. Until you friggin' hardwire it into your nervous system, which is a slow, organic, and repetitive process. It's not pretty, and there's no pill or easy button for it. It's this messy, organic thing, very much like gardening, where you cultivate certain pathways in your mind and you do it failingly in order for the mind to understand what's the right path. Oh, I went a little too far to the right, a little too far to the left. Oh, I gotta go straight. Do the thing wrong so that you can do it right. Make the mistakes like the only thing that matters, and make step one the only thing that matters, because that's going to reveal the obstacles that you need to solve first. You don't need to let your brain and your subconscious brain consider all the pieces, because there's so many pieces, and there's another part of this rant that could be a spin-off, is there's so many other people that you need to connect with to solve some of those pieces. You don't need to try to solve it all on your own. So that's it.